to host, present, call it what you will, these awards. Okay, so all I'm going to do really is tell people to speak when I stop speaking, because I love the sound of my own voice. All right, we're going to start with a bit of video that Chan's going to run. Then we're going to I'm going to do a bit of an introduction for YouTube, Facebook, and all the other sort of social media people who are joining us. And then we'll get on with it, really. And it's down to the stars of the show. All these young-looking, worried people. No pressure, guys, at all. All right? So, Chan, for the video. Thank you.
Around 20% of the North Sea region's population live in rural areas, where a larger share of businesses are small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. These businesses could be vulnerable to many uncertainties and challenges that digital transformation poses to them. This could include the struggle to keep up with the rapidly developing technologies, lack of awareness of their digital needs and potentials, access to new markets, scaling up, and cooperation in a transnational environment. To help SMEs to overcome these challenges, a change of mindset is needed. This is where the UoL 4.0 challenge comes into play. UoL 4.0 challenge is a project that runs in collaboration with the University of Lincoln, Com3, North Sea region partners, Business Lincolnshire, as well as the local SMEs. The project involves SMEs presenting their digital challenges to the University of Lincoln students from the operations management. Students then work collaboratively to develop a theoretically underpinned idea which could help to improve SMEs' potential for adoption of digital technologies and implementations of Industry 4.0. The students would then present this idea to participating SMEs and academics. It's then up to the SMEs to choose the digital solution that would work for them and decide whether to implement it or not. If you're a local business and have a digital challenge that our students can help you to solve, then please email uolchallenge@lincoln.ac.uk. Are you ready?
Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to the Executive Centre here at the Lincoln International Business School. My name's Gary Ramsden. I'm an Associate Professor in Logistics and Operations here in the Business School. And on behalf of Professor Neil Juster, our Vice Chancellor, and all my colleagues, welcome. Welcome to everybody on I'm going to have to look at this because I'm not very au fait with social media. YouTube, LinkedIn and Facebook. Welcome everybody out there. To what is a great evening for us, a celebration of our students and their work, but also our relationship that we're building with the local Lincolnshire community by way of business opportunities. I welcome our boss, great boss, who can arrive late because he's in charge.
I apologise.
That's all right. That's all right. So I was just welcoming everybody over the social media, and I've got all the social media links right, so everybody can plug into that. But I was just saying it's great to celebrate the successes of our students, the links with our local community, and it's even better this time because the last 6 of these, I think, have all had to take place online. And here we are, suited and booted, doing it face to face. Okay, it's great to wear trousers again and walk around. Okay, we won't go any further than that. Right, so let's have a look at what we're going to do this evening. You've already seen the list of my colleagues who are involved in this. You're going to meet some of those as we go through the evening, so I won't spoil it for you now. We've got a bit of an introduction by moi. And then I'm going to hand over to Herbert, my colleague, who's going to explain what the challenge is really all about, for those of you who don't know. Then we've got the stars of the show. We've got 6 presentations this evening, and I can tell you behind this camera there are some very excited or nervous looking individuals. I'm not sure what yet, but I'm sure they're going to enjoy their experience. We've then got Abby, who did this 2-3 years ago now. She's come back to share her experiences now. It's helped not only get a job, but actually improve herself as she's gone on after leaving us as a graduate. We've then got the all-important audience vote, and I'm going to hand over to my colleague Chang at that point, because she's the expert in how we'll do that. And during the voting period, we're going to invite Craig to give us some thoughts on upcoming challenges for ourselves around the challenge itself. We will then have the all-important awards ceremony, which we're going to ask Abby to present certificates to our recipients. I should say at this point, there's no losers tonight. There's not really any winners. Everybody's a winner. Okay? Good evening.
Good evening, sorry.
It's all right. And then we'll wrap up with some final words from Craig. So, without further ado, Herbert, perhaps you could share with everybody here and online, what is this all about?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everyone, for coming physically here and online. I suppose that question has been answered by the video. It has done a good job about explaining what the challenge is about. Just to emphasize, it is about university working together with industry. We believe that in terms of our mission, we produce better graduates when we work together, because our students get to be exposed to what is happening in industry before they leave industry. So they get prepared. They know what's happening. So that's what the challenge is about. So this challenge is based on what is called challenge-based learning educational strategy. So what it means is that we get problems from industry, which we call challenges. Okay, so we format them in a format that we call challenge to allow our students to work on those problems. I will explain the concept later, but the idea is to allow our students to develop technology-based entrepreneurial problem-solving skills, is to produce skills that are relevant for the current workplace that we call the 21st century workplace. Because there's been a talk that universities are producing students who are failing to fit in our industry. So this is our way of responding to that need. So for the business, we believe the business also benefit from the challenge. They get to get some ideas that allow them to connect with their markets. If we look at the what has been happening in the past few challenges, they've been based on how companies can connect with their customers, and the students have been involved in those challenges. So in that respect, we are offering businesses some ideas about how they can reach their customers. We know these days, after the pandemic, people are reluctant to go to retail shops or wherever products are being sold. So one way of reaching the customers is through online digital means. And as we are going to see when students are presenting, they will talk about how they've gone about solving the challenges. So this challenge-based learning is based on this concept that starts with a big idea. So a big idea really talks about an area of interest, that is pertinent to our local community. So I'll provide what our big idea as we go, and then from there we have the essential question, which is really trying to articulate what the big idea is about, so that we understand the frame of the big idea. From there, we go to the challenge. So today we're going to hear a lot about challenges, because it is at this point that the students have picked up this project. That is their starting point from the challenge. So we're going to hear about the different challenges that students have been working on. So basically what is happening there, we are formulating a specific task for the students that addresses the essential question. And then from there, we've got guiding questions. So guiding questions is just to provide boundaries in terms of where we should look for solutions. Because when we produce a solution, it's supposed to target the problem. And the guiding questions allows that. Then we have guiding activities. Because this is a learning process, we need to provide the students with the guidance. So as they talk about their solutions, you are going to see that they are following problem-solving processes. So it's part of guiding activities. Then guiding resources, we provide them, for example, with the reading resources, so that they know where to start from. And then we come to solution. So that is the end point of our challenge, but we work with the Lincolnshire, business Lincolnshire, to implement the solutions if the companies wish to move to that stage. And then there is evaluation. So when you implement a solution, you need to evaluate the solution. So is it doing what you wanted it to do? Okay. Without evaluation, then you never know whether your solution has worked or produced the desired business impact. Then there's publishing. So this is done in different formats. For example, the posters produced by the students as part of this process are available for the public to view them. There's also reflection. You look back and see, how did it all go? Is there somewhere where we can improve? Because we believe reflection allows you to learn. Without reflecting, then you keep on doing something exactly the same way every time. So the column at the end just indicates the involvement of academics, students, and the businesses in the different areas of the framework. So, what is our big idea? Digital technologies and Lincolnshire. So our focus, our area of interest, is supporting the local business to adopt digital technologies. Hence the name of the challenge. Okay, the essential question. So this is what is guiding us. How may adoption of digital technologies positively impact Lincolnshire's economy? So as students present their solutions, they are going to talk about how their solution is going to make some difference. It's going to improve the operations that we're focusing on. And if we keep on doing this, we're going to get a critical mass where we're going to have impact on the local business in Lincoln. So the challenges in the companies we're working with. So we worked with 3 companies, Octagons Lincoln, Brainstorm Legal Services, and Theatre. We had 18 teams working on the challenges. Now, I won't go through the challenges and the guiding questions because the students, as they present, They will talk about their challenges and the guiding questions as the starting point. And then they will go on to talk about what they did to come up with solutions. So at this stage, we're moving on with the time that we've been waiting for. The presentations, thanks to the three companies that provided the challenges. Okay, I'll hand over to Gary for the specifics.
So hopefully you can see why we, as an academic institution, are excited by this program, but also why local business are as well. And for those of you who are new to this, I would urge you to get in touch with us, because we're always looking for new projects, new challenges for our students to help you add value to your businesses. So without further ado, let's learn about some of the value that we've added. I think it's Georgia and team B2. Here they all come.
Who's going to be in charge of the teaser slides from this program? Yeah. This one is moving forward, and this one is moving back.
Okay, everyone. Over to Georgia and the team.
Yeah, okay, so our challenge company is Lessons, and Lessons are a firm. We provide legal advice at a much lower price than the industry standard. Lessons is aimed at those who were previously unable to get legal help. And the challenge given to us by the business owner was, how can we promote and advertise Lessons so as many people who need legal help know where they can go without spending vast amounts of money on marketing? And to begin the process, we had to structure the challenge so we could see the problems that face Lessons. Publicity. From the beginning, it was clear that the weakness of Lessons was its lack of online presence, with no active social media or online website. But the strengths of Lessons were even clearer, with its low price point speaking for itself. Opportunities come in the form of online service growth and social media marketing, with the chance to really boom and get in front of as many people's eyes as possible, if done correctly. And the threats are to do with a lack of trust around the company. This is because when you search Lessons, it's hard to find information. However, these threats will be minimised by the solutions that we present.
So we use the Lotus Blossom technique to brainstorm solutions for little online presence. We looked at 8 different solutions, but decided that the website, TikTok, and Facebook were our best options because they reached a wider audience and it was efficient.
The next technique we used to brainstorm solutions was the traditional checklist. So this was asking why, where, when, who, what, and how. So why was the social media is a great way to expand your brand awareness and increase the target audience. Where was, we were thinking, websites, radio, YouTube, any form of social media that's quite popular and hits a range of people, so from an older generation to a younger generation. Next is when, so we were thinking there would be weekly updates and continuous monitoring of all social media. Who would do this would be a marketing or PR team. What is obviously where awareness of the brand, like we stated before, social media marketing and internal communications, and how it would be done in a friendly yet professional manner, so the company seems approachable yet very professional to again gain that trust around the company.
So we used the performance mapping process to show that Facebook and TikTok were our best solutions. So we looked at kind of the accessibilities that everyone now can get on social media. Flexibility was far higher in the flexibility of being more informal on social media, which gave a more friendly atmosphere, which is something that our business owner really wanted, make it more approachable. The quality, however, on social media can be seen as less than a professional website. Obviously, the cost of the website is far higher than that of the social media.
And then when it came to actually looking at solutions, we looked at an advantage and disadvantage table. So we weighed up what it would be like having the website. Obviously, we know that's going to happen anyway, but we compared what it would be like Facebook and Twitter. So we looked at 4 characteristics. So we looked at cost, engagement, ease of use / accessibility, and the appearance and professionalism. And as we can see, both has its different advantages. Obviously, your social medias appear like to different demographics. TikTok appears to a younger demographic, and Facebook, we can tend to get in with the older demographic, because we can go to like local Facebook pages and you can share news from there. Engagement on both is constantly very high. If you know what's trending on each of the social medias, you can wiggle your way into getting pretty much around anyone if need be. And ease of use, you don't necessarily have to have accounts on TikTok to go on TikTok, but you can still see the videos. But it's like we said, that would be the only issue, is people have to have Facebook accounts. But for the website, you don't have to have accounts or anything. You can access the website from pretty much anywhere. Appearance-wise, as previously mentioned, the website is more professional. However, we will take the professional route down the social medias as well. So just having that little bit of friendliness just creates a more visible atmosphere to everyone. We can appeal to more people, and we just feel like that would be the best route to go down with them. So in conclusion, after looking through many solutions for lessons, like we said, the social medias of Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok will be the best options. The platforms create an interest across many different target audiences, and they allow sharing of stories and all sorts of different bits and bobs for people to be able to look at. The website and social media platforms have their advantages of being accessible, creating low cost for the social media platforms. And obviously, like we said, you don't necessarily have to pay for extras on Facebook and TikTok. It's a complete opportunity cost on there. We believe that having these social media platforms will make a huge difference in spreading the word for lessons, much more than other options previously mentioned.
So finally, we did the Gibbs Challenge Reflection cycle to look at how we conducted the entire operation. So at the beginning, we found it difficult because of the lack of information about lessons, because the website was in the stage of being made. However, after meeting with the business owner, we were a lot more confident about what we were doing, and we knew where we could go with the project. We had a lot of team collaboration, which was very positive, and ultimately has allowed us to come up with the ideas and solutions which we have. And after meeting Keith, the business owner, for a second time, we feel that really helped us to get extra information to unlock the better challenge, better solutions. And overall, as a group, we work very well and have come up with what we think are the best solutions possible for lessons.
And we're very appreciative of what we've been able to do for the business, and we hope that it'll be able to go further on in the business. Thank you for listening.
Okay, I would normally pass comment, but I won't, because I don't want to influence the voting public in any way. Okay, so let's move on to Team F2, Laura and her team, who also did some work with lessons. Work this. Here we go. Laura.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hand over to Laura and the team. Thanks, guys.
Hello everyone, yeah, we're Team F2, we're also covering lessons. So yeah, it's Jacob, myself, Laura, and I'm presenting today.
So very similar to the first team, we were also doing lessons. Same problems, but we discovered that they had a big positive. They had 700 pages of templates of legal advice, but we needed to find a way for people to be able to accurately find the information that they need quickly.
So the process we did for the challenge was solutioneering, which is just discovering the sort of best process to overcome a challenge. So we started with the challenge structuring, such as SWOT, PESTLE, and then moved on down to challenge reflection at the end there, and this is guiding our presentation today.
The challenge itself, we had 2 guiding points. We wanted to raise awareness of the company's services via social media platforms, and also communicate the company's message to its customers via online platforms as well.
Early on, we discussed team contract. This allowed us to create boundaries for the team to work effectively and for the team to progress in the solution. We established you need a Twitter presence for the company, it's got the understanding for its customers, and then the Q&A with Keith Brooks allowed us to gather more information on the company and see more strengths and weaknesses. And then regular team meetings allowed us to progress the team, develop his ideas further.
We used two different analysis techniques. We used Swot Analysis and Best Analysis, but we focused mainly on SWOT. The strengths we found were they had many connections to influential figures, and they also did have a library of 720 free to download legal documents. Weaknesses, we found that they had no web infrastructure. For example, they didn't have any websites, no social media, nothing that you could look up on the company. Opportunities is they could take advantage of the free to use social media platforms like Twitter, YouTube, and they are also from a wide range of devices and with easy access. And as threats that would increase the number of businesses offering legal advice at a local price, meaning more competition in their area.
So we started this thing by using the Brainstorm solution. This allowed us to put all the ideas we had down on a sheet of paper, and then we could filter them down to what we thought was the best solution with the cheapest outcome, but the best solution to reach the most people. It helped really do it quickly, and we're going to filter through what we really wanted to do.
So from the brainstorm, we moved on to the Lotus Blossom technique. We decided to focus on story sharing via social media and YouTube. So this just allowed us to create a pros and cons table of the two options, so we could establish what would be better for the cost-effective solution. We used this in conjunction with another table, this one, to create like a critical and non-biased view. This is just a simple advantage-disadvantage. It allowed us to create an overall score, so we can choose the solution we wanted to pursue. We measured them against these 4 areas because they are most related to the information we were trying to find out.
We decided the solution we wanted to use was YouTube, as it was very easy access. For example, as you can see in the first picture, it does give you a very good idea of what you can use in the video. For example, if you search a certain topic up, it will come up exactly with the minutes in the video without you needing to watch the entire video to find the information you're searching for. It is also found on a wide range of devices, so you can do it on your computer, your telly, your phone, and recently also I'm missing your Apple Watch as well. So it is very easily accessible everywhere. Our suggestions were to create informational videos on topics relevant to the audience, so whatever you would search up to be easier, I guess. Host live streams such as Q&As, so even if you wanted to know anonymously what a situation would look like, you could use the comments section in their Q&As. They would get a direct response, and it would keep it anonymous in case you were really worried about their identity being known. And it also provide a space for your audience to share their stories and help each other out. So since it is anonymous, it does help other people who have been in similar situations or were just wondering what they could do in the situation they're in.
The biggest time constraints, the biggest constraint is time. It obviously takes time to make YouTube videos, to film them, to edit them. This is obviously something that needs to hire someone to do it. But it's very cost effective, it's cheap, it's free, and the company will generate ad revenue off the videos, which makes them money.
And so lastly was the challenge reflection part. This gives us reflection cycles, so starting with description and ending with an action plan. It just outlines where we started, the process we went through, and where we want to go from here. So our main challenge was with communication, just as a group, which definitely slowed down the process of finding a solution. So in the future, we want to be able to better assign skills to different people so that it's just easier for the challenge. Thank you for listening.
Okay, so we're moving on now to a different organisation, the Action 8 Theatre. And we've got Laura and her team C2. There they come. The look of relief on the people who finished is quite remarkable. Right, let's hand over to the team.
Good afternoon, we're Team C2. I'm Oliver.
I'm Molly.
I'm Nick. So our company that we took on was Action Theatre. So they offer summer schools, theatrical performances for mainly young people to help them develop their capabilities in a foreign language. You see countries like Germany, by the time they're 18, they all know are confident in a foreign language. Currently they're operating in England and Italy, but would like to expand their operations. They use fun, interactive activities to help enhance the learning of young people especially.
So for the challenge initially, we met up as a group to talk about the company and where they would like to go through forward. And then from this, we were able to create a poster which highlights the way we increase their customer base and their online presence.
So after looking at the company and the challenge, we conducted a SWOT analysis. So for the strengths of the company, it supplies top quality services at affordable prices, and it offers one-to-one services. For the weaknesses, there's a lack of website clarity, and they're not as active on social media, which is limiting their outreach. For the opportunities for the company, if they increase the social media exposure, they'll attract more customers. And then for the threats, they need to be active on social media, or the company won't be going anymore.
When it came to brainstorming, we used the light blossom technique, as this way we could look at many ideas and go from there. The two we looked into was updating our social media accounts and making an app as well.
So for the benefits of the solutions, for creating an app, we thought that the app could have different activities and games, which would make learning more enjoyable for the customer base. They could upload videos for the client base of view because they didn't want to use social media to do that. So having their own private app, they'll be able to do that. And it's easily accessible to join. For the social media, it's easy to spread awareness about the business through it, and advertising business on social media will be free. And then they already have a team to operate the social media account, so that part will be free as well.
So as with everything, there are some limitations. Making an app can be quite expensive, it can take a lot of time, and customers might be put off by having to put their personal details like username, telephone number, passwords into an app. You also might need to employ more people to keep maintenance of the app. For social media, the company, as we learned in one of the initial meetings, they don't want to use social media to put the online videos and webinars out there. You'd have to create a different space to upload videos, which is why we came up with the app. And as we all know, we've all got social media accounts. It is quite difficult to grow a social media account, so it can take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and sometimes it doesn't always come off. So overall, we decided to go with the development of the app. Obviously, it can take a lot of time, a lot of money, resources. However, this is the kind of look that we thought we felt would work best. So you've got you can upload photos, you can upload the webinar, the videos, podcasts, and you can also have sections like games, which will help enhance the learning of younger people.
So when reflecting, we use the Gibbs reflective theory. So this way, we were just able to look at it and see what we could have done better, how we could have gone in the future better when just looking at it. So we thought as a group, if we could focus more on our time management and kind of get towards it better, we would have got the outcome we were looking for much sooner.
Yeah, we found that because in university group projects, sometimes you have people that unfortunately don't reply to messages, and it's quite difficult to get a team going, so you do lose some time with that. But fortunately, we work together very well, and we feel like we've come up with a good solution to the problem. Thank you for listening.
Okay, I think we've got Leanne and Team B2 also working with the Action in Theatre. Are they here?
Yeah.
Are you here, Leanne?
Yeah, just me today.
Oh, that's a bit mean. Okay, first of all, I think we should thank Leanne for coming on behalf of this team. Over to you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm Leon, you can call me Leo, and this is they are them. So just like the previous team, our challenge is for Action in Theatre company just up there. So essentially, what Action in Theatre is about, so what the organisation is about, is they provide engaging summer schools and theatrical performances to teach language and they want to create creativity, performance skills, social and personal growth to both the UK students and international. Due to COVID, the performances have all come online, which aligns perfectly with our challenge. They're becoming the social norm right now. Their core values are to develop respect, quality, integrity, and compassion. So, what our challenge was? So, our challenge was to help the business expand its reach and generate its income for its online, for its pre-recorded online workshop video series. And very kindly, the company decided to give us some sort of guidance, and they wanted us to develop a membership system to for people to join their premium video series to generate their income. So the first step of our poster was to start with the challenge structuring. We used PESTLE, which is political, economical, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. They provide us with internal, external insights towards the environment. The next one we used was SWOT, and that provides us with internal and external factors. So as you can see, we came up with strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That was to help us with how to tailor our solution so that it fits the company. So as we can see, we have strengths, virtual classes become a social norm. People are more open to it due to COVID. Also, they have engaging theatrical stories. Weaknesses we did come up with is that they are face-to-face and may not be as interactive as you all may have experienced in your first year in 2020. Opportunities can be to increase the number of languages on the websites and teach more languages with that, which the company is open to, fortunately. And not strengths, we have threats. Students may not absorb the information as well due to it being less interactive, but we are, I assure you, the company will tackle that challenge and they'll get that completed. Next, we have Brainstorming Solutions. So just much like the previous groups, we use Lotus Blossom. The idea behind that is to have a central idea and build solutions off of that. So our solution was to utilize various social media platforms to grow and generate their reach. Videos should be downloadable when purchased for better quality and flexibility, and a loyalty scheme as an incentive towards consumers. We also use classical brainstorming, which we thought was really helpful because we're coming up with so many ideas. We just wanted to put it down before we lost them as an easy way to outline it later. So for them, we did have create a review system to allow consumers to interact, and it also gives Action in Theatre a chance to develop and self-based consumer feedback. We also had build more awareness in schools, do some kind of promotion. And we also had theme recorded videos, so they have different genre types of videos. So you can have games, movies, theatrical performances, etc., etc. Our final ideas was to go with the view any downloadable videos and 3 theme pre-recorded content. So we use a performance objective mapping scores, and we use kind of a polar/radar diagram. So the wider the margins, the better the scores. So we scored on cost, dependability, flexibility, quality, speed, sustainability from 0 to 5. As you can see, downloadable videos had won that for us. So yeah, as I was saying, the chosen solution was downloadable videos. We decided to go with this solution because it allowed flexibility. So I'm trying to get my bearings. Out there is the library. Opposite the library, there's seating areas. Often you won't get the Wi-Fi within the building out there. So what we were thinking was, if consumers can download the videos while they are on Wi-Fi, when they're not, such as when they're traveling planes, trains, etc., or sitting outside, they can still watch a video with great quality. Often Wi-Fi might not be strong and your video might be quite fuzzy and pixelated. When you download it, it won't be able to be clear as crystal. Again, just to conclude it, we went with the disadvantage table, so just to tally off the pros and cons of our solutions. We also did it for our second solution, which we then discovered downloadable still on this, so eventually went with it. So advantages, as I said, it allows consumer flexibility. We feel as if the company can gain more of a reach if they become more consumer oriented, which is what this solution allows. And finally, we went with the challenge reflection of kids' reflective cycle. We had our feelings, what we went through. So essentially, at first, we were kind of confused and apprehensive towards what we were actually doing. But luckily, Jennifer came and gave us a big hand, gave us good advice, and we came up with our analysis, which was the challenge structuring, and our conclusions was to go with the downloadable videos. So yeah, our conclusion was to go with the downloadable videos. It was feasible, it was viable, it was good, cost effective, appealing, and sales wise, we think it will do a really good job since it's consumer oriented. Any questions? And thank you for taking the time to listen.
Not easy on your own, so well done. Right, so we're now moving on to Octagon, Lincoln, another organisation that have helped us with these challenges. I think it's over to Team A3, Octavia and Team. Where is your Octavia? I don't know, is it just you?
Oh, no, mine.
Oh, you've got a friend. Good, good. Just trying to make sure you have you. I don't know how to do that. Right. Over to Octavia and Team.
Okay, so hello, I'm Octavia,
Hi, I'm Miles. We're business and management students in our second year.
and we have had that presentation for you to watch.
So in this presentation, we'll be briefly going over who the company is, what the challenge was, how we came up with the ideas, and what our final solution was.
Challenge introduction. So our challenge was to find for Octagon Printing the solution to how to maintain actually the ambient temperature in their premises, which are office and workshop.
So Octagon are a local printing business in Lincoln. They print logos onto clothes, signs. They also wrap large vehicles, and all their work is done in-house.
Let's move to the structuring of the challenge. We used the SWOT analysis to get to know better the company. And in that section, we identified the main strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For example, the company has very skilled employees, and as an opportunity, they could be educated in use of innovative technology, and also how to maintain that technology we could use as a solution to tackle that challenge. As a weaknesses, it's the building itself, and the building is rental, which like stops us and limits the major changes we could make. And also as a threat, most of the solutions, like heating solutions, are very expensive these days.
We also used a cause and effect diagram. So it just allowed us to see what the key areas were in the business and where we can help them improve. We realised that the temperature was affecting the quality of their work, and also it was affecting their workers. So either having to wrap up too much that's too cold and they're getting too hot working, or vice versa, they're getting too cold.
And finally, after getting to know better the company, we could move to the brainstorming part of the project. In that section of the project, we identified 3 main areas using Blossom technique, which are to improve the entrance door where the heat escapes, maintain the temperature diagram, and also to maintain the humidity. As you can see, we've come up with a few ideas, but actually in that section, as you can see, to maintain temperature and humidity level, we already knew which idea we are going to go with.
Yep, so our final solution we chose was for them to install a VL speed door instead of a large door that they have in front of their warehouse, as this allows for less air to escape when they're opening and closing it, and also to install a Desiccant rotor that will control humidity levels and the temperature. We will now show a demonstration.
So those are VL speed doors. You can see they're moving very fast, and therefore the heat will not escape as quickly as with those manual ones they are having right now. And that's the Desiccant rotor. As you can see, the cold air with a high humidity level is being heated up inside the Desiccant, and the humidity is being removed from the air, and the warm air is being blown out.
So to make sure we have picked the right solution, we did 5 performance objectives. As you can see, it's high quality, it's flexible and dependable. It's also fairly quick and cost effective.
With regards to, I would just add to that slide, with regards to flexibility, that solution actually can be customized to customer needs. And also in the market, you've got plenty of producers, so that helps actually with the cost part, which different solutions might actually have different prices. And let's move to benefits of our solution. So humidity and temperature is going to be fully controlled by the Desiccant rotor, and could be customized to your preferences. And also the air movement limited to minimum by implementation of the VL speed door. The solution is also energy efficient. It's also affordable, long lifespan of the product, and it's easy to use and maintain.
However, their staff might need to be trained on how to maintain the Desiccant rotors, as there is a lack of mechanics nationwide, but they are quite a skilled workforce already, we found out, so it shouldn't be too hard. Also, there might need to be multiple installations, just depending on how effective it is, they might need 2 instead of 1, so that might also rise the price.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, another team, Team A1, who've been looking at Octagon again. Amber Nicole. Oh, you brought a friend.
I brought a friend.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's that one. Just give it a
Yeah.
happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Amber, and we did Octagons temperature change issue. So we're going to go through what the project meant to us, the challenge overview. We'll evaluate the project, and then we'll suggest long-term solutions. So Octagon is a small printing company based in Lincoln. They offer a range of services, but the main service we're focusing on is their wrapping of vehicles. They require a solution to maintain heat at 20 degrees. And we made sure that their goals were at the forefront of our ideas to make sure they were 100% implementable when they needed to fit them.
So the challenge was to maintain a 20-degree temperature in 2 areas of the workshop. So you have the garage and the wrap area. We found out that the structure of the building was acting as a catalyst to the problem due to the airflow and open space. And some of the factors we considered were the asbestos roof, and changing the building layout and structure would reduce their job scope and lower their profit margins.
So we did a SWOT and a pest analysis. The overview of the SWOT analysis is that the building has no main damage, so the solution should be quite easy to implement.
but a weakness was the high roof and not much insulation. We didn't want to get rid of the high roof as it was important for some of the vehicles that are going into be wrapped. However, we needed to think of a solution that would stop the heat escaping from the roof.
As a pestle summary, we wanted to lower the temperature projected should adhere to the government's working temperature standard. Also, although there's multiple options available due to technological advances and the rise of Industry 4.0, lots of them are quite expensive, so we wanted to keep that in mind. And also, because they're currently situated in a rental property, any structural adjustments would have to be approved.
So when we were brainstorming, we used a lotus blossom summary. So this main part here is all the solutions that we considered, and then we moved them on to a further, more in-depth analysis to totally see all the positives and negatives. We did realise with the lotus blossom, we wanted to focus mainly on the insulated curtains because they are what's going to trap the heat and stop it escaping from the roof. However, we wanted to compare again the different heaters to see which would be most beneficial to Octagon.
TAS matrix, we wanted a short-term solution, as we mentioned, putting their goals at the forefront, especially need for flexibility. Also, our established possibility really was the low-cost heaters with built-in centers, which may not have been possible before with the use of the insulated PVC curtains that condense the large area, so you were able to install them. So the three heaters we considered was an electric, oil, and infrared. Solution B was eliminated as it scored the lowest due to the fact that most infrared should have to be put on the walls, and because the building is open space, it wasn't feasible.
We deemed solution A the most appropriate as it offered a hot and cool setting. It's a vortex bladeless heat and cooler. It also purifies the air, so there's health benefits involved with their asbestos roof, also using chemicals when it comes to wrapping. And it has a sensor built into it, so if the temperature does drop, it will automatically come on and heat the room again. So the mapping tool was how we evaluated it further. So we realised that it was feasible to implement as it was at a lower price point. However, it was also safety checked to make sure that if it was knocked over or anything like that, it could be brought back up and heat the room.
So we propose leveraging insulated PVC curtains to lower the cost and magnify the utility of technological heating solutions, specifically to be used alongside vortex air with built-in sensors. Although the rise of Industry 4.0 is accelerating, advanced digital solutions are expensive and new. So by combining a non-technological solution, such as the insulated PVC curtains with a technological solution, you can harness the power of Industry 4.0 whilst also ensuring that all Octagon's complete set of goals are met.
So we also did want to talk about more long-term solutions because, as previously mentioned, Octagon are renting. So when they get their own space, they might have a similar issue and they want to implement something a little bit further. With the rise in Industry 4.0, there's quite a lot of options to develop their business.
Yeah, so they could get temperature-controlled containers with built-in advanced sensors specifically for the products itself to get guaranteed. And then also they could do augmented reality, use VR systems, so that customers could actually design their cars and they could design the wrap, and then they could design a stock order, so you wouldn't need to keep it in storage and therefore you wouldn't need to keep the temperature so much. And then going even further than that, robotic car wrapping and spraying, when demand increases, they may not have the manpower. So robots could work in any temperature, and also they'd be able to offer more services.
Yeah, thank you.
That draws to a close our competition, if you will, and hopefully you can see why we are incredibly proud of what our students achieve. These guys are second years here, second year students. Wow. Okay, so let's see where they go next. I'm going to ask Abby to join us and tell us about her experiences since she was doing this. I won't ask how many years ago, I'll let you tell.
Well, not mention.
No.
So yeah, basically I'm Abby, working at Teldown as a project controller.
Originally started as a business operations graduate and progressed through the company. Feel free to scan my QR code. I'm happy to help with any CV help or offer any advice if you need any. So yeah, to start off with, just to give a little introduction into my roles and responsibilities. So I did international business management as my degree. As I said previously, business operations graduate, but now project controller. So Teledyne are a huge American multi-billion-pound company, but underneath that sit Teledyne UK. We're sort of global leaders in defence and security markets. We produce common radar devices, defence applications for various competitors in the market. I initially sparked an interest in business operations through this module, obviously doing something practical, gave me more context into what I might be getting myself in for in business at university. So in terms of my university to work transition, I think obviously going from waking up late, not eating very well, to getting up at the crack of dawn and starting to eat healthy, it's always a bit of a shock to the system. But yeah, working life sort of allowed me to get into that productive routine. It creates a purpose, which I would encourage anybody at university to try and identify early on. It gets sort of narrower and narrower the more you specialise. So I think if you know what motivates you and you know what interests you, you're already off to a great start. It also gave me an opportunity to work with a diverse range of individuals, people from all over the place with innovative ideas. That really helps, to broaden your horizons in terms of the project, creating new ideas, brainstorming, as you all demonstrated. And through this, I got to put my hard-earned knowledge into practice through, learning business operations principles, project management principles, and then I can put those into day-to-day use. It also created a positive work environment, which I also have every day. I enjoy coming to work, which is quite a luxury for some people. I think working is associated with being a chore, but if you enjoy it, then you're more likely to spend more time there and progress in the company. So in terms of the challenge itself, I've just included a description which I've taken from my LinkedIn there, just in case you want to add anything to yours. That's sort of the way I went about it. The opportunities, I think, in terms of skills, it increased my ability to critical think and my attention to detail. Specifically in projects now, if there's something not going to plan, it's not just acknowledging that it's not going to plan, it's why it's not going to plan. Key stakeholders involved, and also going forward how you can mitigate the risk to prevent it happening in future. So challenges, I think, when you're working with different people, you're always going to get a contrast of ideas, which is difficult at first, but I think the key point is to listen, acknowledge, and then go from there. So the solution may be to stick to one idea, but often it can be a hybrid of different ideas, and that can often be more efficient. And yeah, just finally, my recommendations to students, I think, obviously being there myself, try and get involved with any opportunities that interest you, whether that's in work or outside of work. They're all going to contribute and will also look good on your CV. I didn't go into this challenge thinking that I would get a job and then get promoted through the company that sponsored me, but that's what happened for me. And every day, ask questions. There's always somebody that can help you, and knows probably more than you do about certain subjects, so don't be afraid to reach out. Also, invest in your CV. I know a lot of people think it's just a document, but it is where you can convey your skills, what you're good at, your qualities, your personality, which is something employers want to know, as well as your qualifications. And just be confident, I think, realising that you are capable of doing more than you think is such a positive way to think about it. So I would encourage everyone just to acknowledge what they're good at. And that's it. Thank you.
Some great words of advice there, and that's why we're proud of our alumni as well. So thanks, Abby. Thanks for coming on. I just wanted to thank and probably embarrass a little bit the people who've been mentioned already, who have helped our students from Octagon, Jack from Westlands, Keith, and Jennifer from Action Theatre. Without you, they couldn't have done the work they've done. So many, many thanks. And again, an appeal for all the people out there in the social media world. And I did note from one of the presentations, I am on Facebook, therefore I am old. Yeah, thanks, Eric. Great on Facebook as well. Sorry, yeah. If you have got any project ideas, just give one of the team a shout, okay? And we can help you formulate them. And you may have the sort of projects come out of those that you've seen this evening. Value for your business as well as value for our students. Okay. Now it's your turn what happened there? It's your turn to get involved in the voting process, and please vote. Okay. And my colleague Chang, who is the IT guru in all of this, is going to explain how. Chang.
Okay, thank you very much, Gary. Okay, I would never see myself in that way, but thank you so much. I was absolutely impressed by our students' presentation, how confident you have been, and how well you worked together in collaboration with your colleagues, with businesses, and with us, the project team. So really, really proud of you. So this is the moment that we really want to recognize all the effort you put into this project. So we have the live audience, we have the family members, we have the audience online, and we're going to ask everyone to take part in voting your favorite or your favorites presentations. So if you can follow that hyperlink, so it is polev.com/lips marketing. Okay, so use your mobile phone. You can always borrow mine if you want. Anyone hasn't got your mobile phone. If you can just type that in one of your browsers, doesn't matter whether you're an iPhone user or smartphone user, Android user, feel free to just put in your votes. So it will ask you to put your name. Okay, so feel free to put your full name or your initials. It's just a really recognizing we have our audience live here, okay? And then after that, when you see these options, you will have the arrow up and down, so you can actually click on the arrow to move some of the presentations upwards or bring some presentations downwards, not necessarily just because of, you may have your own favorites, okay? So that is the process you need to go through to support our wonderful students. Once you select your ranking order, then there is a submit button. You can click on the button, and then that live score will come through to our channel on this computer and on this computer, on that computer as well, and on all the social media. So it's absolutely live, honest, credible, reliable, and it's all based on your votes. So definitely take part in that, okay? And whilst we're doing that, I think we also have other activities going on. Yes. If by any chance anyone struggles, there's a QR code. You can always just get your camera on and scan it, and that will take you directly to the link. Is it working? It goes funny. You need to go back on the All Everywhere page.
Can someone just show me the screen? Have a look. Yes.
Okay, let me just double check. This probably has gone slightly wrong. Brilliant. Okay, I think that's the magic button. Activate. That would help, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. I think I clicked on present rather than activate. That was the issue. So everyone should be able to vote.
Okay, is it now working, Jack?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, if I could ask the gathered throng here to keep the noise down, because those of you who watch Eurovision at the weekend will remember that during the voting, they had Mika Yeah, that took me back. He made me feel young. But we've got our own version, although he hasn't put his pink suit on this evening. I'm going to hand over to the head of the business school, at the risk of my employment, not say any more. Craig, over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Again. Brilliant. So, is it put on to so, can you do it? Just show me which buttons.
This one. It is.
Stick it on there. There you go. So I press button 3. I picked that up from your. So I don't know about Mika, but you know when you're watching your favourite TV programme and the adverts come on, and everybody nips out for make a cup of coffee and nips to the low. Well, this is the advert session. I know my role. I am the interval. So, and rightly so, actually, because I mean, I love this evening, and it's fantastic to be back face to face. We've been doing this for online now for a couple of years, and Abby, I'm not even sure whether actually yours might have been the last one we did face. It was 2019, wasn't it? Yeah, and so it's so great to see you all again. And I really am the sort of, you know, the interval, because we've had the stars of the show already. Gary said right at the start that you're all winners, and it's absolutely true. We're all of us blown away by the quality of the presentation that you do. And by the way, we've sort of been there in different ways ourselves, so we know what it's like. You know, we know how much effort it takes to come in and how much effort it takes to present. I'm sure you've all heard the expression, there's only two things in life you need to be afraid of, right? Heard that? Yeah. Death and public speaking. You heard that one? And public speaking is much worse because you know when it's going to happen. Usually, you don't know when death's going to happen, thank God. So we know what it's like. Anyway, so fantastic job to all of our students. I'd like also, I want to start with this actually, because I'd like also to thank my team, because it's really important that they get the recognition for all the time, effort that they have put in to make this possible. So I think actually we should all give Herbert, Chang, Gary a big round of applause for all the work. So well done, guys. Thank you so much. So what did I have to talk about? Well, not very much. My presentation is going to be rubbish compared to what we've seen already. And actually, Abby, I think, has said a lot of this already, and a fantastic advert for this program. So really, we've done. No, that was the practice. This is the okay. Well, it's fine in practice. What about the theory? Does it work in theory? So this is the theory part. So really, what I wanted to do was just to show how this program, Challenge 4.0, links directly to what it is that we're doing as a university, or what we think we do as a university. So a couple of things. This is our mission for LIBS, to develop socially responsible leaders who are ready to meet the challenges of 21st century business. So this is what we all believe in, this is what we're about, this is what we do in the business school, and you have all shown in spades tonight just what a great output that is for us. So fantastic. Well done, guys. So I'm really happy that what this program is doing is allowing us to nurture you all as those leaders for tomorrow, which is what you all demonstrated in spades tonight. The slightly more up-to-date bit, as you will all be aware, we have a new Vice Chancellor who's been with us for 7 months, my new boss. And Neil has been leading us through a process of developing a university strategy for the next 5 years. It's the sort of thing we do at senior level. I've got to do something at senior level, right? So we talk about strategy. So this was from yesterday. So it's that hot off the press, right? So this is not gone out yet. There have been some people who've been consulted on this. It will be coming out next week to all of my colleagues to get their views on it. And this is what we've been coming up with as the definition of our purpose. So I'm just going to read through it. Purpose is to transform lives, attracting talent from around the globe to create for Lincolnshire and its global community a virtual circle of opportunity, prosperity, pride of place, and economic growth. We will contribute to drive and harness global advances in technology, digitalization, and net zero solutions, which are integral to success in the 21st century. We'll work to ensure that the benefits of these innovations are realized in the communities that surround us. We will enable an economically successful, socially coherent, highly skilled, and culturally vibrant city and region. Now, I actually don't think that's too bad as far as purposes go. It might evolve a little bit. We are actually starting really to get behind this, because I think it does a lot of what we think who we are as a university. We are a civic university. We believe in you, our students. We believe in your success but we also believe in how your success is going to contribute to the success of the region. So actually, I think what we're doing with this Challenge 4.0 is absolutely bang on in terms of the university's purpose. So what we've got here is something that will, I think, help to define who we are as a university. It's that important. It's such a symbolic, important piece of work for us that you're involved in. And we've got, I think, already 600 students doing this, I think, over the course of at least 600 students have already been through it. So it's becoming a really significant part of the learning experience. And Abby has already demonstrated how it can be successful for you. Just saying, it is a great opportunity to get yourselves in front of some local businesses who may just be looking at you for potential employers. So it does happen. So that's what we're looking at. So absolutely essential to what we are as a university. So I think that's the first thing to say. The other part that I wanted to share with you, again, absolutely hot off the press, is that we think there are going to be 3 themes to our strategy: collaborate, challenge, transform. Collaborate, challenge, transform. A little bit, I'm going to read through these things, but we think these are the ways we are going to do our stuff as a university. Now, when you look at this, I think this is the Challenge 4.0 project in a nutshell, right? This is of course what you do. We've heard a lot this evening in your excellent debriefs of your work, how you have had to collaborate both internally, that really tricky thing that you have to do as students is work together as a team, right? I mean, don't worry, that's been going on for decades, how that is a real challenge for you to work out how to do that. You can almost see you think, yeah, absolutely. But that collaboration, but not just, of course, between yourselves, but with my colleagues, and of course, with our clients, the businesses who brought these projects to us. Absolutely essential to what we think we're going to be doing as a university. Challenge, well, I mean, do I need to say anything else about that? Yeah, we've actually put that as one of the strategic themes of the university, the challenge project, so here we are. And transform. So I think we also started to see, even though you're in your second year, how transformative this can be for you as individuals. It is one of the things that we absolutely love to see when you walk across, and Abby coming back again, when you walk across the stage of graduation, the transformation that's taken place in you. You probably don't see it yourselves that much, actually, but we absolutely see it from when you arrive as first year undergraduates through to those individuals that we graduate from here. And you're already showing that. So it's transformative to you, we think, as individuals. But I think it's also transformative to the work that you're doing with those really important people in our community, the businesses who may actually end up taking you on. We've already seen several examples of where the businesses that you are developing these solutions for have developed those solutions, have implemented them, and it has a positive impact on what they're doing. So transformative in those areas. So transforming society. That is what a civic university does, by the way, and that's a lot of the reasons why we work here to play a part in that transformation of society. So that's also transform the city, region, and wider communities in which we operate. So absolutely valid for that. Now, the only thing I wanted to say is just taking a look directly at the skills that we think we're developing in you as students. So this is, like a good student, included my reference down the bottom there, a World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Survey 2020. We're all students, even me sometimes. So World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Survey 2020. So what this was in 2020, it was saying a bunch of companies all around the world, what are the jobs, what are the skills, I should say, that they're seeing as being rising in prominence over the next 5 years. So a global survey. Now this, if it's not already familiar to you, will become increasingly familiar because actually we're building the results of this survey into the learning outcomes for your programs. So as we're going through a fairly regular review of our curriculum, what we teach you, these things will be in there somewhere. So we're taking it very seriously. But again, Abby mentioned critical thinking right at the top. So you got the here, right over here. This is the increasing box here, as you can see, the matter perhaps. So those things are the ones that are increasing. Now these are across all skills, right? So this isn't just generic skills. These are technical skills as well. But these are the ones they came up with. And I think actually it sort of reads like a tick list of what you do on the Challenge 4.0 project, right? So you've got critical thinking at the top, problem solving, well that was in there, self-management, a bit of that, don't be talking about in fact discovering that 8 o'clock in the morning does exist as a concept. Being able to make sure you see 8 o'clock in the morning and do it well fed. I mean that's the double thing, I'm being flippant, but you know what I mean, that sort of ability to take care of yourself, use initiative, be self-fulfilling. working with people, obviously, management communication, technology use and development. See how that's one of the top skills. The use and development of technology, unlike us old people, where we've added it on to what we knew already, for all of you, this is totally integral to almost whatever subject you're doing, whichever bit of business you're into. It's going to be there, it's going to be part of it, it'll be an integral part of it. And then some other things like core literacies and finally physical abilities, when they're actually using your hands and so forth. So I think this is a pretty good idea that what you're learning in this kind of work is spot on in terms of what companies are looking for. Now pause there for a second. Today, I've been at the CBI, Confederation of British Industry. I sit as a regional councillor for the East Midlands, and we happen to have our meeting today. So these are business representatives from companies right across the East Midlands, not just Lincolnshire. So today, what are they talking about? They're talking about, and you'll have heard of some of this, all of the, what we call headwinds, the things that are really working against their growth and success at the moment, and there are lots of them. You don't have to read the papers to realise that. So top of the list, inflation at 9%. Cost of energy, huge for them, right? It's going up just recently. It's a big headwind for them. They're talking about their supply chain, something that you'll of course be covering, of course, the global supply chain is breaking down. And fourth, and this one always comes up, labour and skills shortages. Almost every business that you talk to, unemployment rates in this country are at their lowest for 50 years. Businesses cannot get hold of the skills they need. So I was talking to these businesses, I want to say, oh, thank you very much. I came to Lincoln to talk to your head of employability, Steph Shaffinati, last week. It is brilliant. I'm coming to talk to your undergraduates. I'm coming to give them a bit of a lecture on what our business is about. We're looking at doing a student placement. Oh, and by the way, we're talking about the Challenge 4.0 project. That is the CEO of a East Midlands business. I was talking to somebody else who said, a business based in Boston, they don't work with the university yet. He came to me and said, can I talk to your university about IT skills? I said, do you mean people who actually work in the computers? No, it's generally digital people with digital skills. So of course you can. By the way, we have this project called Challenge 4.0, where you can come and bring us a project and our students will work on you for it. Fantastic. They come and talk to us next week. So these are businesses across the region who are hearing what we're doing as a university, seeing what you're doing, and they are up for it because it fills one of the big needs for their companies. And I'm sure our college and businesses around are not in agreement to that. It's one of the biggest strategic challenges that businesses have. You all understand the reasons for that, right? Brexit has cut off a lot of the labour supply to businesses. The pandemic has really done a lot to exacerbate skill shortages. You are the future for those businesses. So, but by the way, just to say, don't think you can just walk in there. What you're doing and what you're learning here, you're developing those sorts of skills, which will make you attractive. They're just going to come along and open their door to you. You've really got to prove yourselves to them. And you've just shown tonight already in spades how to do that. So well done. And then the final one, same survey, it's just a list of the top skills for 2025. So this is looking forward to where they're going to be 3-4 years. It's actually done during the pandemic, actually. What they're going to do, again, analytical skills, active learning, which is one of the ones I wanted to put up there. It's the ability to continue to learn. And you've always shown tonight how you've done that project. And so something that I was really taking note of in your presentations. If you asked a consultant to do this work, they wouldn't talk about the learning journey they've been on. But it is so interesting, not just because you're students, but also to hear how you learn continuously. Because it's another thing that employers are looking for. Not that you do everything right the first time, but if you don't get it right the first time, you actually give it another go, debrief, something that we don't do very well in a university, just saying to my colleagues, right? You have a look at what's happened, you talk about it, and then you actually do something better next time to avoid Einstein's definition of madness. You all know what that is, don't you? Go on.
Is it doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results as the definition of insanity?
That's the one, definition of madness, yeah, to do the same thing over and over again and expect the results to be different. How often do we do that in organisations, especially in personal channels? So learning that process, that's why it's number 2 on the skill. You can read through them, creativity, critical thinking is up there again, leadership, showing that in space, like technology design, over here, things like emotional intelligence, reasoning and problem solving, resilience, big thing. That's again, just to get to this point tonight, you've shown a lot of resilience. So anyway, you can see the sorts of things that. I did want to also show the learning cycle, but you've been putting GIBs up all the way through your presentations, which is fantastic. But I know Herbert's done a bit of work debriefing actually students who've been through this process to show the whole learning cycle. You have to hit all 4 parts of the learning cycle really to be deep learning. But actually, the challenge 4.0, you look at it, is that each of these boxes in the core learning cycle are being ticked by the challenge 4.0. And we've done a bit of work to prove that, and the students are actually coming back and showing how they meet all of those. So it's also a really effective process of learning. There you go. Bit of theory to follow the practical stuff that you've been doing. That's really all I wanted to say. Are we ready? Or do I have to put a dress on and do a Mickey? No, I'm not. So Gary, you are an absolute talent pool and a real credit to us as a business school. So well done, all of you. Thank you. And Gary, do you want to come back over to you?
Yeah.
And you have to press the third button.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely song, by the way.
Do you not want me to sing?
No, I don't. Okay. I think the votes from around Europe are in. So, we're just checking on validity. How many votes did we get, Jack?
We have got in total 130.
Wow. I'm sure that 129 of them aren't the parents in the room. So we're going to make an announcement then. If I could invite Herbert to bring the certificates up. Happy to join us. And I think we're going to have a photo round. Thank you. Thank you. So, as I said before, and Craig confirmed, no losers, we're all winners. The 6 winners, I don't know why I did that, 6 winners are Team F2, Laura and her team looking at Leicester's. What are you Okay, thank you. Well done, guys. In 5th place, we have Octavia and her team's work at Octagon Lincoln. Thank you, well done, guys. In 4th place, we have the bravest man of the evening. Brilliant. You can collect this on behalf of your team members, who I'm sure are thanking you guys. Okay, well done. That brings us to the top 3, isn't it? An exciting UK back win after all. In 3rd place, associated with Leicester's, it's Georgia and Team B2. Thank you. Well done. That leaves 2 teams. In 2nd place, it's Amber, Nicole, and teammate Well done. So, process of elimination, that must leave Oliver and his team as tonight's first place. Well done. Can you say let's have a final round of applause for everybody, because everybody concludes the awards ceremony. If you'd just like to say a few words to close things off.
I think I've said far too much already, but many congratulations to Oliver and the winning team, but congratulations again to all of you tonight. I hope you all leave here thinking you're really proud of yourselves for what you've done. Again, many thanks also to our sponsors for making this possible, actually. So I really appreciate your help for it. And yeah, so congratulations, guys.